need at 3 in the morning? Our first question is designed to be provocative. Does science need God? Okay, I'm a Jesuit and I'm an astronomer. You probably have no surprise that I can live a life of science and a life of religion because I do it all the time. But is it necessary for me to have religion to do God? One answer you may think I'm going to go with, but actually I really don't want to, is the idea that maybe you need God in order to do science in a moral way, to make moral choices about the science you do. I'm not saying that. You don't need God to stop you from doing terrible things like making atomic bombs or cloning Justin Bieber. Morality is essential to doing science, yeah. Science is not a big book of facts. Science is a conversation among a community of people who are talking about those facts. And like all human communities, you have to have some ways of interacting with each other so you can trust each other. You can't be telling each other lies. When I read your data, I have to believe that that's your best interpretation of what you saw in the lab. And the system of science depends on attributing fairly who did what work so that when I see a piece of work, I know how much to trust it or how to interpret it based on who did it, where did it come from, what were they worried about at the time. And so that if somebody does a good piece of work, we can give them the resources to do some more work in the future. Fine. And like any community, science is a community that works better if people don't lie, don't cheat, don't commit adultery. Unfortunately, I have known scientists who have violated those and all the other commandments. The interesting thing is, it doesn't invalidate the data they take. It's kind of like what they say about priests. The validity of the sacrament is not dependent on the worthiness of the person doing it. Anyway, my point is, the contention I'm having here is that's not why science needs God. There are plenty of atheists who live holy lives. I'm going to say instead that science requires God for reasons that hold true even if you don't think you believe in God. Now watch me. Science, it's a logical system. It's a system of reason. Reason has to start with assumptions. Every logical system starts with assumptions. Axioms, we call them in mathematics. And there are at least 3 axioms of science that you have to believe before you can do science. And I maintain they're religious axioms because not every religion believes in these things. First of all, you have to believe in reality. You can't say that, the universe is just a dream. Secondly, if you're going to go looking for the laws of physics, if you're going to go looking for the rules that describe how the universe works, you have to assume ahead of time that there are laws there to be found. And third, and sometimes most difficult, you have to believe that it's worth doing in and of itself, not just so you can clone Justin Bieber. All 3 of these axioms are religious in the sense that you can see religions that don't hold to them. For instance, consider the assumption of realism. There is a famous story of the Chinese Taoist Zhuangzi. The story goes, one day Zhuangzi dreamt he was a butterfly flitting and fluttering about, happy with himself, doing as he pleased. He didn't know he was Zhuangzi. Suddenly, he woke up, and there he was, solidly and unmistakably Zhuangzi. But he didn't know. Was he Zhuangzi who had dreamt he was a butterfly? Or was he a butterfly dreaming he was Zhuangzi? And of course, he's got a point. Maybe everything is illusion. The idea of the existence of a physical reality is something that we have to assume. Because we know darn well we are interpreting the physical reality through our senses, and our senses can be fooled. But you have to make the assumption that even given the limitations of our senses, there is something real there to be studied. Even if you're a crazy quantum physicist and you've got, multiverses in your head, you still have to believe that the macroscopic needles